my darlings.
Basically, what we're doing is basically, I feel like we wanted to like speak about this topic for a long time. You can't say long time, but like a long time. Like, let's just say like we had this kind of topic
back of our mind
for like good 2 to 3 months, and we were like, when is the perfect time to do it? And I was like,
there's always a perfect time for everything. So we're like,
what
you know what?
about?
Let's just do it. We don't care because it's getting out of hand.
Okay, what is it?
It's women's rights totally being eradicated in Afghanistan.
See, the main thing is we're going to be talking about women's in Afghanistan, but we just wanted to say that, you know, there's other women out there all around the world that are also going through things like this, and please keep them in your prayer, and so should we.
I mean, of course, because at the end of the day, like, for example, what's happening in Palestine, we, you know, our heart goes out to people in Congo, Sudan, and all over the world. We just don't like just sectionize people, as well as just, you know, help and advocate for one section or one party. For example, being a girl who has been diagnosed with endometriosis, I just don't specify with endometriosis. I want justice for all women. Under
that's how it should be.
So,
and I feel like it touches you. It's more like, you know, it touches your soul, because you know how you advocate for like healthcare and everything. And if you think about it, we have a literal like systemic femicide going on. It's like they can't get treated by male doctors, and then there's no female doctors.
It outraged me
there, because if you think about it, like, women aren't allowed to work there. Like, if they don't have the right to life, like going out in public and the basic rights, like, what makes you think they're allowed to work? And when these kind of things are, you know, this is basically the government, the Taliban, treating women as second class. Basically, it's a gender apartheid. They're treating them as second class, and they're not, you know, taking in their rights or anything, and they're just literally treating them like objects.
Basically, they're second class, meaning that they don't even have the basic rule of a civilian in their own country. So it's really like raging for a girl who suffers with health issue, because when it came to research and knowing that there's no doctor ladies in Afghanistan, there was no ladies who can help another female lady, an individual who's suffering with a health issue, as well as men can't treat ladies when they do go doctors or when they want to seek medical help. That means, are you trying to say women to die silently with what they're going through?
Basically.
And that killed me, because fair enough, I got gaslit, fair enough, you know, NHS is shit, NHS is taking years upon flipping years just to give an appointment, but it totally has been eradicated from the system. Like, they have been eradicated.
And it's like, to add to that, it's like, for some reason, like, everyone goes through things in life, and you know, we all go through things, and then when we look at someone who's more less fortunate than us, and we're like, whoa, like, we should be grateful and we should appreciate it. Like, the fact that just because we like did so much research on it, me and my sister, and we were talking about like how resilient these women are, and even like women's in Palestine and the Middle Eastern countries, don't forget them as well, because I feel like there's a propaganda to it. If you look at it, there's like
also
some close link and
want
connection.
us to be against each other.
Yeah, basically that's what I'm trying to say. I feel like there's like it all links. Like, if you put the jigsaw puzzles together, it all makes sense. Like, it's like they don't because they know these Middle Eastern countries have a lot. They have a lot of like resources, wealth and everything, and they know they can flourish. But it's like they don't want that. Like, you try, can you go Palestine? It's bombed. You can't. Like, literally everyone is nearly dead there. So it's just like, what they're doing with the women in Afghanistan, it's reminding me that, you know how they use the propaganda.
It's being repeated.
Yeah, it's being repeated. History is repeating itself. But the propaganda of, like, for example, you know, in Palestine, they you know, Americans, they show that the Israeli are good, Zionist is good, and, you know, the Palestinians, like, they're bad and stuff. They don't even have weapon. Like, this is all one-sided slaughter. You can, you know, like,
Yeah,
you
you
can
just can
tell,
tell.
like, this is one-sided. But, you know, it's the fact that they're trying to make them look bad. And then you got in Afghanistan, okay, what's happening to the woman. But then think about it, Taliban, do you know what Taliban is? It's a government, but apparently they're an Islamic group.
That's bullshit.
Islamic
That's
group.
That's
That is
what I'm
bullshit.
saying. You know, the
That is
reason they
real
want to
bullshit.
use
Yeah.
Islam, our name, just to make us look so bad.
Bad.
But people who have gone to the Middle East, who have actually, you know, learned about our religion, they're like, whoa, whatever news is saying is all bullshit. The reason why they're doing that, because they have agenda to separate us as well as take what is ours. Do you get it?
But
Take
also
what
it's
is the
another
Muslim
thing.
communities.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm not saying Middle East meaning just all Arabs. Remember, the Prophet ﷺ, in his last sermon said that the Arabs should even respect the non-Arabs, and the non-Arabs should respect the Arabs. And I feel like a lot of Arab people, not a lot, but minority, when they see us South Asian, they deem us low. And that's bad, because at the end of the day, you know, there's so many shit going on.
I wouldn't say minority, because you're talking about a small percentage. I'd say about, like, average.
Basically, average.
Because, like, I love Arab people, but
yeah, I do. But some people are just
but something
so
I feel
rude.
like,
and I feel like I haven't seen the authentic, like, people, the Arabs.
And it's like,
because I'm sure there is
I feel
nice
like this
people,
links
nice
because,
Arabs out there.
Because I could ask you the question, how does this link to Afghanistan?
It
and
does.
What we can say is that, like, I know it does, I'm just saying, what we can say is that they, you know, how the propaganda is to turn us against each other.
That's
it's
what
like,
they want.
have you realized, where did racism start from? Color.
I know.
Where did all that come from? Why can't we be
News,
equal? Why are black
social
people
media.
deemed so low? And why is white supremacy a big thing? Why is it that if you're fair, you're white skin, you have power and all that? And then I could say the same thing and say that it's funny how they're using, like, making Islam look bad. It's funny because they're blaming it on a faith just to, you know, to have that control of power.
That
Titlement, literally. That's what it is.
Yeah. You can take so much from that sermon, because it's literally speaking about racism.
Yeah.
It's speaking about don't go against each other. Like the Prophet ﷺ, you know, he's the last prophet. Allah honored him, Allah honored his name, and you know, he tried to tell us and keep like a rule book for us, like, don't go against each other. Like, you are going to have parties dividing you, and this is what is happening. Like, for example, they're dividing us Muslims, and as well as you know, he's scattered around USA, UK, you know, different areas of the world, because the people in Afghanistan, the ladies, I'm sure they're thinking, wait, there's so many people around the world and we have no one to help us. And the Talibans are doing that to us ladies. But isn't feminism out there? I'm sure they know about feminism. And one thing you showed me is that you know, the Afghanistan post and all of this is happening, and a lady was like, oh, where is feminism?
Okay, you know something, I'm just going to be totally honest, is me and my sister do not believe in feminism.
I don't.
And you might say, oh my God, you sound so misogynistic. You sound like a man talking from a woman. Are you transgender?
I have my reasons, but you can
I have
go
my
first.
reasons, but I'll explain. So, first of all, what is feminism?
Feminism is a party where you can have like rights of voting, owning property, inheritance, basically giving you rights as a woman, that you can do what a man can do as well.
Yeah.
Giving equal rights.
But that's where it goes wrong.
I know.
You know what? You might go,
that goes against
you
our
might go,
faith as
hang
well.
on a bit, there's something is not right with you. Let me explain what I mean. I'm not dismissing the fact that women can like have a say in it, that they want to do this, do that. Yeah.
You just
but
need
I
to
feel
hear
like
us
it's
out.
gone to a
Extent.
Like, it's gone to such an extreme level where it's like it's like women, not in a mean way, but women think now they can do everything men are doing, and then they think they can do what like better than what a man cannot do. But in Islam, we are taught that we are equal, and that, you know, things that man can't do, we can do, and things that we can't do, they can do. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
even though we're like a different gender, that doesn't mean that, oh, that other one is better than us. We're equal. That's
It's like
what we taught in
pregnancy.
Islam. Yeah, like, it's like, can a man be pregnant?
No,
he
he
can't.
can't.
That's something that
Unless
you,
he's a transgender. Do you get it? Unless he's a female, actually, and his reproductive system wasn't changed. Do you get it?
Yeah.
But so he's a woman, but he transed into a man, if that makes sense.
And I feel like, so I was showing my sister a video about Afghanistan, and like, you know, because people were saying like, oh my god, where's feminism, we need it and stuff, and I feel like people were failing. Like, I was like, think about this.
When did feminism come to existence? That's
it came after Islam.
I know it came after Islam. Yeah, that means you're saying that British recognized feminism later on, or, you know, saw that women's need right just because World War II or III happened.
You know what it is though? You know, it's so clear what their propaganda is.
Of course,
if you think about it, look, Islam came before feminism, right?
Yeah.
And if in Islam, we were given our right, like, you know, before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu becoming a prophet, having that, you know, ownership of being a prophet, before he was even entitled to that, what was happening? Girls were being buried alive. So many things were happening. Boys were deemed as like blessings in the family being born. No one wanted a girl. It was a curse and all that whatnot. But when he came to preach the oneness of God, to preach about the religion, about faith, when he came for that reason, then so much things changed for women. They were literally treated as a human being, because they are
Queens.
As queens, yes.
They were
like,
given entitlement.
And it's so
as well.
funny, like, you know, there's so much things I can say about this. I can go on for hours for it. Like, you know, for example, one thing I might just say about like modesty, and like, if you was to say modest to a white person, like, oh, I'm wearing the hijab, they see you and stuff, they're going, oh my god, you're oppressed, you men are making you do this. Of course, unfortunately, because of culture in nowadays generation, there are men who are following culture over religion, like the Taliban. You can tell their rulings are culture, because I can tell you no one else follows
to do that, because they want to give a bad name to us.
And do you know who would tell them to?
Of course, I know USA and UK.
Of course. If you think about it, ISIS and all these you know, Islamic group, you know, they want to use our religion, but Islamic,
like, you know, for example, you know, how we started with like feminism came later on. So it came in the 19th century, and Islam the rights to women in the 7th century, when prophethood came to the Prophet ﷺ, and he taught people burying, you know, girls alive is so wrong. It's very like, it's
literally being buried alive.
I know, it's like, literally buried alive. That's flipping like
they're
insane.
alive, and like, imagine like, oh yeah, it's so sad.
It's sad, like even comprehending that, it's just,
you can't.
It literally gives me like, I feel sick by thinking about it. There's like 3 stages of it. There's 3 wings.
So the first wave was the early, so 19th, early to 20th century, voting rights, property rights, and then the second wave was workplace equality, reproductive rights, and that was during the 1960s to the 1980s. And then third wave, last wave, was 1990s to 2000, and that was like for diversity, identity.
Isn't it intersexuality as well? Yeah. So basically, you can be whatever gender you want.
And so this means that many rights Islam gave to women existed over 1,200 years before modern feminist movements.
And that just literally,
shows
you know what it is. That just shows that a lot of women lack the knowledge of faith, which is so important, because if they only knew that faith gave them the rights, but you know what it is, they, because of what they went through, they're like, oh, that's fate. That wasn't fate, that was culture that
You know what
messed
it
your
is?
life.
It was you know how you said what they went through and what they were taught.
Mm.
It was a propaganda. It was, if you now look at it, have you realized why does the government, obviously we can't say fully that they support women, like which government, which corrupt leader
No,
supports
they have
women.
an agenda for
They
everything.
have an agenda for everything, but they're okay with the feminist movement. Do you know what I mean?
Of course,
they give
because
them
they
more
know what they're
rights
doing.
over the faith. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So it's like they're trying to paint an image that, you know, look, Islam is bad. Leave Islam, and feminism is what it is. Like, does that even make sense? Like, the fact that people are trying to like just like throw dirt on Islam without even doing any research. Like, it's so funny because I be seeing like other posts and stuff, and like I'm making sure to be educated because it's so important at these times, no matter what age you are.
Key.
But education is key. It's freedom. You need to be educated on what's happening around the world. I feel like it's important for everyone. It's not about, oh, you know, equality, peace. And if you want peace, you want equality, you gotta know what's going on. You know what I mean? You gotta know where justice is, and you gotta know where to like be. Do you know what I mean?
Side to side.
Yeah, basically, because you don't want history repeating itself.
And you know what we're speaking about, it actually links with history, because the good side of history, it's deemed so bad and medieval, but the bad side of history, they are the
I know they
good,
portray
they
them
are
as
the
good
heroes.
people. I know
It doesn't make sense. It's like what we do is so deemed like dark and evil, but when it comes to them, it's like they flipping represent themselves or show themselves as flipping sunshine.
But then think about it, isn't that a human trait though? It's like, if I want to look over, I'm gonna make myself look better, but those that I don't like and I'm insecure about, I'm gonna put dirt on them.
And of course,
so it's like
people
it's
have
like
really
a human movement.
I know people
Humans
have really
do things like this.
What's it called? Implemented that also in the characteristics.
Okay, so moving on. So we spoke about feminism, and we kind of addressed the fact that how culture is way different to religion, and they have different definitions, and they are different things. They are not the same thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we can, if you want, we can go a bit more detail into culture versus Islam, like the difference.
Yeah. Important to know the past women of our century, because that's how we get our leadership. That's how we become, you know, empowered ladies for the future. That's how we keep on going to, you know, spread women's right, to spread, you know, that we don't need a movement to, you know, gain rights and also like twist and turn, you know, certain narratives. And I feel like for example, if you researched about your faith, if you research the difference between your faith and culture, you would realize that whatever you went through is culture that put you through it, not your faith. Or inheritance, your woman's wealth, education, and so on and so forth. Islam introduced that and gave even this Quran ayat and a hadith. A lot of people go against a hadith, which, you know,
What
it really,
is
a hadith is
Explain
the
it to
narration of the Prophet ﷺ. It's his actions, his characteristics. Like for example, it explains certain things like wudu, or like you know, sunnah prayer, or why we should do such and such act. It basically explains it into detail, as well as it tells us about, you know, when he done it, why he did it, and how certain, like for example, wudu, you know, when we do wudu, all of these actions are fard. No, they're not. Some are fard, some are sunnah, some are what's it called, recommended, mustahab. So it's so important and crucial. Don't speak in social media and give something, you know, like a bad name. Like for example, I saw on TikTok, and it really hurts my heart, the people speaking bad about a hadith. But if only they knew that you believe in the Prophet ﷺ, but you're going against his words.
You know what it is? People are so uneducated nowadays. It's like
And
they
follow
jump to
people as
conclusions. Of course, they follow people because it's a trend. It's like a trend set if you think about it. It's
but
like,
that shows that you don't have any characteristics, and you just, listening to these feminists saying that, Britain gave my rights. No, it didn't. Britain, the British flipping government, the law that women can own property,
that's actually funny, because Britain was a colonizer, first of all, and then second of all, they don't even want immigrants in the country. They're telling us to go back, but then they be eating our chicken tikka.
I know, but the thing is, like, for example, like our wealth, women think that our wealth, we need to share it with people. No, we don't. As a male, a breadwinner, you have to take care of your family, this and that. A woman's wealth is a woman's wealth.
And the funny thing is,
and if she wants to help her husband and her family, that's in her own free will. People say, girls, a lot of girls and people, they're just so uneducated, and they're like, why is my wealth or inheritance so low? That inheritance is yours, but a man's inheritance, he needs to pay for his family. He needs to take care of his family.
But the funny thing is, these people that be stating stuff and coming to conclusion, they don't even have a reference.
I know, they don't have a reference
to back up their claim. And when they give a reference, it's so weak that it's like who you is, like, where did you learn that from?
Those people who studied the deen or studied about like depths into, I don't know, something, I don't know, they're really interested in, they don't even speak. They literally don't speak. In TikTok, I don't see any scholars or any alims or alimas speaking about what's it called, people speak about hadith, they're going against hadith. They don't say it because at the end of the day, they know it. They know the answer.
I know.
You speaking about a hadith
and the ones that talk about it,
giving it a bad name, you're giving it a bad name, and you're saying that, what's it called, a hadith goes against, it tells us to, men to beat us, this and that. Have you went through the chains, the narration, the sanad, and what these companions had to go through in order for the narration to be accepted? Have you heard of Da'if hadith? Have you heard of mutawatir hadith? No, you didn't. That means don't speak. People who are knowledgeable, some of them don't even speak. They just listen, because if they heard what you said, they would call you bakwas, what you're saying. People who have that knowledge, they will say whatever is happening in Afghanistan and the injustice that women are getting and not being treated for their health, as well as not illegal to seek education, bro. Fatima al-Fihri, she's the first woman who opened the university. Aisha radiallahu anha was a scholar. You're telling me that Islam prohibited women from seeking education?
And then you've got the Prophet marrying a
business lady
that was business lady, and up there.
It's just so ridiculous. You know what it is? It's women, it's men, the ego, the pride, and just misconstruing. I don't know if I said that word properly. Basically, mixing falsehood with good, and just mixing them together and making it into a potion that it just messes everyone's brains.
And what's
and
even
cells.
outrage is, of course, like in Islam, like women like us, we wear the hijab, and we keep modest, and like it's your choice and your it's your journey. There's no one to judge on it. Whoever judges, they just ignore them. They're just like people that are very judgmental, basically. But anyways, what's very like outraging is the fact that they're like forced to wear that blue burqa thing with the niqab. That's so scary. Like right now, the UK heat wave is suffocating me. I'm sure you guys can tell I got some tissue wiping off my sweat. I'm not wearing no makeup because that's how much I'm dying. But what I'm trying to say is, like, if I'm dying in this heat wave, like, how are they like in that? And the scary
not allowed to
part,
leave the house.
the scary part is they're not allowed to leave the house. Then the scary part is they're not allowed to talk. They're not allowed to express. Nothing can come out their mouth.
Okay, but then,
they don't even have a freedom of opinion, freedom of speech. But then
a lot of people will say, "Oh, Islam." But how can it be Islam when women needs to go with the period blood to the Prophet ﷺ and ask, to the Prophet ﷺ, is that period or istihada? Do you get what I'm trying to say? You don't know anything about Islam and the Prophet ﷺ.
Can I say something to that?
They had no fear.
Like, Islam, the way that we are taught about period, like
and they were advocating for themselves,
we are not a burden, and that's not a disgusting thing. But the way the Taliban, like, forget about like treating women as objects.
It's worse as animals.
It's like worse as animal. I've heard like, have you heard about that story of that little girl
Yeah.
who basically, her father passed away and no one else was able to work in the family, so she disguised as a boy and she used to make a living like that. And the Taliban caught her and they punished her for it. They punished her, and she tried to explain to them, look, I don't have a father, and then you guys have the rule that I can't leave the house without a mahram. We don't have no mahram in the house. We're all ladies. What am I supposed to do? How are we gonna, who's gonna be the breadwinner for the family? How are we gonna provide for ourselves? Are we supposed
Sanitary
to just
towels,
die?
who gives them food?
But then I can say
water.
something. It's ironic because we can say something like that. But then, do you think the Taliban would have empathy if they can, literally treat them as second-class citizens, and to the point where they will even die because a male doctor's not allowed to treat them, and then is there any female because they're not allowed to work? I saw a video. It went really viral on TikTok. It was a mannequin, and this guy, he's from Afghanistan, you can tell. He probably like follows the Taliban ruling and all that, these misogynistic men. And he was showing how this mannequin lady should be dressed, like with the full burqa and niqab. And the niqab wasn't on the face yet, but the burqa was. And he said, no. And then he slapped the face and he put the niqab on.
Oh my God, yeah. Even how you heard, what's it called now, men can hit the ladies in Afghanistan, and what would happen to them? Like, if there's no bruising or anything, it's fine, but if there's bruising, like the bruising is seen, they would just, I think so, is it 15 days?
It's 15 days.
Yeah, 15 days they will go for prison just for 15 days.
And what are they going to learn in 15 days? Like, they're going to abolish the Taliban ruling or something.
But for a woman, if she didn't ask permission from her husband to go to her parents or someone's house, it would be more.
She would be in prison for 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months. I was like, what the?
And what is she learning in 3 months? Just being a woman. Like, it's so funny. It's like, why it is as well? Like, I'm sure we've come to the conclusion that it's like these, because it's a propaganda, and remember, the people in power, it's always male. It can't be a female.
Yeah. I feel like they want to abolish.
It's like they want to just grade female so much, abolish them that there's no female left.
They do. Basically, the generation is repeating. How they wanted to abolish girls, or they abolished them by burying them alive.
It's like
they're repeating.
History is repeating itself backwards.
But backwards. But of course, it's a bit different because they're doing it. To every age group, from starting from a toddler to an adult. Do you get it? When you're old, or when you start your period, you have to get married to.
So basically, once they've hit their puberty, and that's like it's estimated in Afghanistan, girls start their puberty at 9. They're literally married off to, I'm gonna call them pedophiles, old men, pedophiles. And then the thing about this as well is, this is not only an ongoing issue in Afghanistan, it's happening in Bangladesh. You've got other countries as well. You've got Nepal. It's really a big thing in Nepal. Just so many countries, and like, oh my God, like I could go on, but it's really like, I feel like it's a toxic thing, but I feel like because it's so taboo, it needs to be talked about, and I feel like the best people to advocate is girls that are Muslim.
It's true. Because
I feel like there's a lot of Muslim girls out there misusing Islam and teaching the wrong way. I'm sure we can tell some TikTokers.
Yeah, that is so true. That's what I really, really hate. TikTok. That's why I always question myself. Do I want to be on TikTok? Do I move away from TikTok? But then I come across people that are like, oh my God, you speaking about your health issue. You speaking about something that, as Asian community, it's like it's a curse upon us, this health issue, or we need to keep silent, like how the Afghanistan ladies are being silent. You speaking about it helps, and it spreads to other countries, other cities, and that's how something is like the topic, the tabooness of the topic is being spread, it's being spoken about. And a lot of people should, for example, go to protests, as well as just flipping that movement needs to like just completely flipping stop,
Yeah.
or something needs to be done about it. Do you understand? Because the women, like my sister said, on TikTok, who I don't know what their agenda is, speaking about Islam like,
But they speak about it like they're an ex-Muslim, but they're actually a
yeah,
Muslim.
it sounds no, it
Like, I'm not
sounds
going
like
to mention
they're an
names.
ex, yeah.
I'm
Sounds
not
like
going
they're
to mention
ex-Muslim.
names, but have you realized that they get like more engagement and they get
More
more
likes,
followers, more
yeah.
likes and all that when they side with things that are prohibited in Islam as well.
Yeah.
Like they go like, oh, this should be normalized, and then they use the you know, what's their backup answer for that? Feminism. Because of feminism we're doing this and this should be allowed. Like, you can't use feminism for everything, you know. You can't.
You know, a lot
And like
of people,
you're trying to explain a religion that is so sacred, and like and you know, these sisters,
It has
they give
its
me they're not
rulings.
knowledgeable. Not just these sisters but these brothers as well. They're not educated enough. They're just saying whatever the crap they want to say, and it's like everyone's just believing it.
yeah.
And like, where's
You
your
know,
reference?
rulings, like, for
Where's your
example,
evidence?
people who are muftis or muftiyas, when ruling happens in Islam, it doesn't go with anyone's emotion. It has been stipulated because it is how it is. It should be how it is, because
It should be like
if
that.
you don't go, if the society doesn't go accordance to that rule, a lot of things can go downhill.
And
the reason why society is going downhill is because Britain is mixing and putting us, like, for example, it wants us to go against each other, and that's what's happening. A lot of Muslims are saying, oh, for example, LGBT and so on, that is completely fine. That goes against our faith. That goes against the what the other prophets preach. Lut alayhi salam's time, the male wanted you know, the same gender, male, and that's
gay,
wrong.
basically
They were
just
gay.
say that, they were gay.
And I'm sure other prophets went through the same thing, and it's happening in our generation. We respect the people because they're humans at the end of the day, but we don't go for what they are preaching. Do you understand that? Islam doesn't say to disrespect a person who is finding it difficult to recognize their gender. We're not saying that. We're not deeming your gender, you know, what are you, a female, a male, whatever. It's just, you know, people go through some phases in life, and I feel like that's what it is. And they feel like it's a big issue, like, oh, I'm a pencil, I'm a pen, I'm a car, what's it called, I'm a tree.
I think that's just rage baiting.
It's just like, no, it's just weird. I find
I feel like that's just rage baiting.
I know it's rage baiting, but
or it could be either
let me get married to a chair. Through something in the past, a trauma that made them who they are because they were affected by the opposite gender. That's what I feel like. That's what it is. And I know I'm right because I'm always right.
You know how you were saying about like Islam, when they make a ruling, they don't act upon emotions, and I feel like everyone would agree with that. Like, I'm sure when you make a decision, you're not going to act upon your
even
emotions.
Rich people could do that as well.
Can you think about it? Like, if you make a decision while you're using your emotion, that's gonna affect you. Imagine at that time you were angry and you made a decision that you regret later, so you can't really act upon your emotions. I feel like that's something logical.
And you know, one thing in life, like, for example, you need to make quick decisions. Sometimes you just need, like, I don't know, half an hour or whatever, but sometimes making quick decision is good. And if it is a bad decision you made, you learn. You literally can fix that mistake. You can re-evaluate it and stuff. So it's very important in life, if you make a mistake and if you make a decision without emotion, it's important that to know that next time, if you made a good decision, fair enough, but if you made a bad decision, don't repeat it again. But Islam, when it comes to ruling, they don't look at emotion. A fixed ruling is a fixed ruling, and it doesn't really, they don't go accordance to, oh, I'm feeling like I want to love a pencil, or I want to marry I don't know, flipping tree or a car.
I feel like society, like even nowadays, like a generation has become so they feed on,
I feel like they've gone back-minded.
sarcasm. They feed on sarcasm
and rage bait,
literally. Like people want to hear things that are not even normalized. No, they don't want to hear.
They don't want to
authentic
hear
things.
that, but what's it
Yeah,
called?
they can't even be authentic. How they gonna want to hear authentic things?
I know.
So yeah.
Because people are following everyone. Because they want to fit into a crowd, that's what it is. But I'm sure that there are people out there
So
that want to
important
hear the
that-
truth.
Yeah, it's so important that when you're like, when you want to be educated, listen to the right people that actually have the reference, that give the actual like details and facts. Don't just go believing what social media says,
Yeah.
because you don't know who can make it up.
There's a young girl out there wearing hijab or wants to wear hijab, and then someone says, what's the point of wearing hijab? It oppresses ladies, it oppresses women. You know, in this heat, in this scorching heat, we are what's it called, abusing our body by covering
No, because
it.
you know it's so funny. Like,
Oh no, wait. Can I just explain something? Me being a covered girl, me being a hijab, being covered, men, the way they look, it's like, bro, if I didn't wear a hijab, if I exposed my body, I'm sure you wouldn't be looking like this. I'm guaranteed. I had my, men did look without my hijab, but not as extreme as how I wear the hijab. And I feel like that's disgusting. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I feel like the men sexualize anything they see.
No.
To be honest, like, spoke about what makes us feel like raged about today's topic, and like we have like covered some main like key points. Like, we didn't want to go into like a big like, because then we would have went on for hours, and I'm sure not everyone wants to hear our yapping. But I feel like it's important that, you know how like we want justice and stuff, and then you're versing the people that are in power control, and obviously because they have everything in their hands, but they don't realize God has a better plan. I feel like what it is right now, we need people to be educated, and we need people to come as like a nation, yeah, like united, a group. Like, we need to be united right now, because what it looks like is like this propaganda. One of the thing they want to do is just separate everyone from each other, and like make you into little groups. Like, this is the group of feminism, this is the group of, I believe in this but not that, this is the group of I hate hijabs, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I know. And like, for example, Islam gives right to everyone.
Can I just say
child,
this?
Yeah.
But I feel like Islam and Muslims deserve the biggest apology,
I know.
because we've been falsely,
I love that 100%.
we've been falsely accused of stuff, like, like you hear terrorist attacks and bombings and stuff. Like, like those people that did it, they are accountable for it, but I'm sure they're not Muslim, because under no ruling or teaching does it say like to do things like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it's all planned, because I wouldn't be surprised if it's planned.
I feel like
the government has a big
government,
propaganda.
ex-Muslims, and they come together, help each other, and they're just trying to give a bad name to our religion.
Basically.
But if you knew what our religion stands for, you would literally go like, oh my God, I was literally poured with corrupted news or corrupted information. Because it's so important in this society, when technology has flipping risen so much that you don't know the basic fundamental information that you're supposed to know as a human or as a Muslim individual. Do you get what I'm trying to say? The basic, like for example wudu, for example ghusl, or for example your rights as a woman or your rights as a male. Why do you have to look into a British law, the British law, just because fair enough, I know we live in Britain, I get it. I know the Britain law as well as I know my Sharia law as well.
It's
And
important to
wait
know
a
both.
second, when you go to the Middle East, when you go to Arab countries, they're the one who are flourishing because they have rules. For example, stealing, and if they do steal, they get a fine or the hands are cut off. Strict rulings like that happen. You know why? Because no one gets the chance of doing it.
Again.
But Britain, in town recently, another stabbing, stealing happening, like it's like someone's hobby. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, people don't get faith. People don't get what needs to be taught.
Recently, basically, I can't remember where it happened. I'm not gonna lie, the heat is making me a bit dumb and thingy.
I
But
speaking about the stabbing.
no, it's the shooting. They shooted like Muslims, and the news like kept it covered. But a girl that lives there, she said she saw it and all that, and she's like, why is that not on the news? I saw it. Someone on TikTok.
Wow.
People were talking
I'm
about
guessing
it.
they were Muslim individuals, as in like, you know, who done the shooting.
Yeah,
In it.
they weren't. Of course they weren't. I mean, they hate Muslims. How can they be Muslims?
It's just so ridiculous. We're gonna wrap it up now. So my like finishing message is, as a Muslim woman, know your rights. Know that Islam gave you rights first and foremost. Britain didn't give it at the beginning. I'm just telling you now. And don't follow everyone in social media, don't you think? Because a lot of us, we you know, come across people, they speak about Islam and then they speak about something that goes against Islam, and they mix the two together, and you're like, wait a second, but they speak about Islam, like I can't go against them. But are they like scholars or people that you know, have that right of speaking about whatever they're speaking about? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's so important to follow the correct people. Don't follow anyone and everyone randomly just because the society is, what's it called, accepting, for example, LGBT. Know it yourself, learn yourself. And I feel like a lot of us need to keep on speaking about what's happening in Afghanistan, what's happening all over the world to women, even if it's like health, if it's injustice, and, you know, getting our rights. That's very important, that's very crucial, because if the past ladies were able to do that and they were in a higher position because the Prophet ﷺ gave it to them, I'm sure we can do that as a group, as a sisterhood. Guys, wait a second, we didn't do the main thing. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment, and if you know, found something beneficial, comment down below, and you know what you guys think about this topic, or you know, whatever you guys know, whatever's happening around the world. So yeah, Assalamu alaikum.